video 2, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to make this as quick as possible so you can have a little bit of time to start practicing what we've learned tonight. So in video 2, we're going to, first couple examples we're going to do is going to be finding the height of a cone. So that involves us knowing the formula for finding the volume of a cone and using that to find the height. So you know me, first thing I like to do, I like to highlight my base, and well, here's my height, but we don't know what that is and we want to find it. And we know that volume of a cone is area of the base times the height divided by 3. We know that that base is a circle, pi times the radius squared times the height divided by 3. And now we're going to plug in numbers. But this time they gave us the volume. They gave us. So we know 100 is equal to pi. I'm going to actually write it out this time, 3.14, because I'm going to have to find the height. I'm not going to have an answer in terms of pi. So 3.14. I come over here and try to find the radius, but they gave us the diameter, so I'm going to divide that by 2. My radius is 4, so that means my radius is 4 squared. Times my height, we don't know what that is, and we're dividing by 3. So the first thing we need to do, is multiply both sides of this equation by 3, because we are going to solve for h. And so we're doing the inverse operations in reverse order, going all the way back to unit 3. So I'm going to come back up here and start to rewrite. Well, 3 times 100 is 300. That equals 3.14 times 4 squared. Let's do that math right now. 4 squared is 16 times the height. And we know that these two 3's simplify out, so that's what we're left with. We know by using our calculator that 16 times 3.14 is going to give us 50.24 times the height, and that equals 300. So to finish it off, we divide by 50.24, and we know that 300 divided by 50.24 is equal to 5.97, and there's some more. And I'm just going to say that I really don't think they have a height that's exactly 5.97. I'm just going to make the big boy decision, and I'm going to say that the height is 6 inches. And we're going to be good. We're going to round that to 6 inches because that's close enough. If I were to use the actual number for pi, 3.14156 on, it probably would have turned out to being exactly 6 anyway. Let's do it one more time. And we're going to find the volume, the height of this cone given the volume. And you know me, I say the same thing over and over. I keep doing it the same way. I highlight my base. I say that my height, I don't know. I know that the volume of a cylinder is area of the base times the height divided by 3. I know the base is a circle, so it's pi times the radius squared times the height divided by 3. When I start punching in my numbers, they gave us the volume. 13.4 is equal to pi. We're going to write it out. We're going to say the radius. Oops, once again, they gave us the diameter, so I'm going to divide that by 2. I get 1.6 is equal to the radius. So I'm going to go 1.6 squared times the height. We don't know, all multiplied by 3. So we're going to then start doing our math once again, and we're going to simplify by multiplying both sides of this equation to get rid of that 3. We're going to multiply both sides by 3. And so when you take 3 and multiply it by 13.4, you get 40.2. And that's going to be equal to 3.14. Let's do our math and go 1.6 squared and get 2.56 and times the height. 2.56 times 3.14 does give us 8.0384 times the height, and that is equal to our volume now, which is 40.2. And when we divide by 8.0384, okay, so we're going to take 40.2 and divide that by 8.0384, and we get an answer of 5.0009. Well, obviously we rounded the last one, so we're going to say on this one by rounding that our height is 5 meters. We don't need all those decimals. That's so minuscule we don't even need to bother. So that's how we take the volume that we know of a cone using the formula to find the height. So our real life application, a paper cup in the shape is the shape of a cone. The diameter is 2 centimeters and the height is 5 centimeters. Question A, what is the volume of the paper cup? Okay, well, some of you like to draw a picture, and you go right here and it says that the diameter of this cone is 2, which means the radius has to be 1. And we know that the height, they told us the height going from the top down into here, they said the height was 5. Okay, and we know that volume is area of the base times the height divided by 3. We know the base is a circle, pi r squared, times the height all divided by 3. When we start putting in the numbers, we're going to go with pi again. Now we did the radius, that's 1 squared times the height of 5, all divided by 3. We take 1 squared, we're going to go with pi times 1 times 5 divided by 3. And so 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 divided by 3 is 1.6 repeating. And we're going to call that pi time, and then we have centimeters, and that of course is cubed, and that's the answer in terms of pi. And so then we just take that 1.6 repeating, we multiply it by 3.14, and we get 5.23 repeating. So we're just going to say 5.2 centimeters cubed is the volume of our little tiny paper cup. So that's the answer to A. What is the volume of the paper cup? And of course that was using all the stuff we learned in video 1. Now we're going to do B. It says water is running into a cup at a rate of 1.5 cubic centimeters per second. How long does it take for the cup to fill with water? And round our answer to the nearest tenth. So when we want to find how long it takes something using a rate, what do? We take how much the volume, 5.2, dividing it by how much is going in for every second, 1.5. And when we divide that, we get 3.48. And we're just going to round that and say 3.5 seconds. So it only takes 3.5 seconds to fill that tiny little paper cup. How about that? Nice. One last question of the day. It says the volume of a cylinder is 24 pi cubic feet. What is the volume of a cone having the same base and the same height? Well, this is what we've been talking about since the beginning. We know the relationship. We know the relationship between the cylinder of the same base and the cone of the same base and their heights. And we know that the cone is 1/3 the volume. So we can take the volume of that cylinder, area of the base times the height, and we can divide it by 3 or multiply it by 1/3. Well, we already know that that volume, the area of the base and the height, is equal to 24 pi divided by 3, which gives us an answer of 8 pi. And of course, that would be feet cubed if we went in terms of pi. Or we can take 8 and multiply it by 3.14 and get 25.12 says, and then we'd go feet, and that would be cubed. And that's the volume of a cone with the same base and the same height. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're done today. And please go to your last quick write. Find the height of a cone with a volume of 301.6 cubic inches and a diameter of 8 inches. You might want to draw out a picture. When you are done with that, please remember to write down any questions you have regarding volume of cones. Put a question mark, whatever it takes, so that when you come to class and we revisit our notes, that you can ask questions from me, of me, to help your understanding. You are responsible for your understanding, and the only way I can really tell at this point is if you're asking questions so that I can help your understanding. Quality effort tonight, ladies and gentlemen, total of 45 minutes. Be accountable for what you're supposed to do. Be a person of character. Be a person of intelligence. Use a little bit of aggressiveness and urgency as you finish off that quality 45 minutes on your assignment. And then, of course, bring it to class and we will finish it there. Thank you so very much for your time. I will see you tomorrow.